Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show off the deck list that I used in previous replays and that I use in the other replays that will be posted in the future using the Sky Striker deck. So the first card I use is Effect Failure. It allows me to negate the effect of a monster on the field if I discard it, which is pretty useful as an disruption tool. Max C allows me to discard it in order to draw a card until the end of the turn. So basically, by discarding Max C, until end of turn, whatever my opponent special summons something, I get to draw a card. Most decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Special summon a ton of monsters, so Max C allows me to draw a ton of cards, or makes them not want to special summon anymore, which is an absolute win. Ash Blossom either negates an effect that adds a card from deck to the hand, special summons something from the deck, or sends a card from deck to the graveyard. And I can only use one Ash Blossom per turn, so it has a hard on once per turn on it, because it states by name, meaning that it's really, this is real once per turn. If it was a soft once per turn, then if I have multiple copies, each of them have their own once per turn. But it is a hard once per turn, so once per turn, negate something that searches something from the deck. Sky Striker Ace Ray has a lot of effects. It's one of the two build around monsters in the deck, because it allows me to summon my extra deck monsters. Such as Kagari, Shizuku, Hayate, and Kahina, as well as Zeke. And she has a pretty nice effects. The same applies for Rose, which also has some pretty nice effects. Monster Reborn, you probably already know this card. It just summons anything from either player's graveyard. Reinforcements of the Army allows me to add a level 4 or lower warrior monster from my deck to my hand, so I can either search out Ray or Rose. My Terraforming allows me to add a field spell from my deck to my hand, so I can add Sky Striker Airspace Area 0. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage is a really powerful card. If I control no monsters in my main monster zone, which I probably won't because I will be summoning stuff from the extra deck, this allows me to add a Sky Striker card, except itself, from my deck to my hand, and then if I have 3 more spells in my graveyard, I'll also get to draw a card. So this allows me to go +1 in card advantage. So it's pretty much a better Pot of Greed if I'm playing Sky Strikers, so it's really powerful. Which, by the way, Pot of Greed is a spell card that allows you to draw 2 cards with no drawbacks, and it's currently banned because it's too good. So this is an archetype-specific Pot of Greed. Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners is removal. It destroys monsters, and then if I have 3 more spells in the graveyard, it also destroys Spell or Trap, and has the same main monster zone restriction. Jamming Waves is a reverse Afterburners because it destroys a spell first, and then if I have 3 more spells in the graveyard, it destroys a monster, so it's a reverse version. Lightning Storm is an absolute staple. If I control no face-up cards, so usually when I go second, in the first turn, I can use this with no problems. This just either destroys all attack position monsters my opponent has, or all of their spells and traps, and it has a hard once per turn. Sky Striker Necromori Hercules Base is a one-of. It's very situational, so I only run 1 copy, and I can fetch it out if I really need to, thanks to Pot of Greed here. Sky Striker Airspace Area 0 is extra consistency and synergizes really well with Ray. Sky Striker Mecha Module's multi-roll is just broken. It just allows me to get so much advantage. It's just insane. Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones is an additional monster. It's a special summon of a token. My Widow Inker just steal monsters. It's either an effect figure in spell form, or it's just not only negates the effect, but also steals it until end of turn. So it's really good. It's only steals if I have 3 or more spells in my graveyard. Shark Cannon can either banish a monster in my opponent's graveyard, or if I have 3 or my spells in my graveyard, I can put it on my field instead. Infinite Impermanence, also a staple. This can negate a monster effect on the field. I can just discard it from my hand to negate an effect, just like Effect Failure, except that if I set it as a trap card, I also stop my opponent from using spell cards in that row, which is spell and trap cards in that row are also negated, which is really good. In Fallen Judgment, I run on 1 copy. It just says no to pretty much anything. However, I do have to pay half my life points. Sky Striker Ace Kagari is a one-of because she's restricted to 1 copy, and her effect, once she's special summoned, I can choose 1 Sky Striker spell card in my graveyard and add it to my hand, and she gains 700 attack for each spell card in my graveyard. Shizuku makes all my opponent's monsters lose 100 attack for each spell I have in my graveyard, and by the end of the turn she's summoned, I can search any Sky Striker spell card from my deck and add it to my hand. Hayate can attack directly, and Kaina exists. Kristen Hulky Fibrax is really good Link monster, and it's another way that I can take advantage of Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler. I can special summon them thanks to Hulky Fibrax's effects. Zeke is a really good monster. It's just straight up my main win con because she can get stronger and she can banish stuff temporarily. Burrowload Dragon and Burrow Sword Dragon can be both Link 4 monsters that I can tech on for battle phase related stuff. Mech Knight Crusader Evermax is also pretty good. Appaloosa is negation, and Access Code Talker is also pretty good. So this is my deck list. So yep, this is the deck that I use. Bye.